You think you have time, you don't. What's coming will challenge every part of you, your belief system, your work ethic, your very identity. And if you're not ready, if you don't equip yourself with these 3 skills now, what's coming will crush you. But there's good news. It's not too late. You can be prepared. You will be prepared. And I'm going to show you exactly how. By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. The power of adaptability. Let's get one thing straight. If you're not changing, you're dying. The world is constantly evolving, and if you don't evolve with it, you'll be left behind. I don't say that to scare you. I say it to wake you up. Change is not a threat. It's a gift. A challenge, yes, but a gift. Because in change, there's opportunity. When you think of success, do you think of a straight line? Do you imagine a clear, uninterrupted path to the top? Well, let me tell you, there is no straight line. Life isn't about following a predictable road. It's a maze, a winding path full of sharp turns, unexpected dead ends, and hidden doors. And to navigate this maze successfully, you have to be flexible. You have to be adaptable. Take the story of Netflix. At one point, they were a DVD rental service. Yes, DVDs. They didn't start out as a streaming giant, yet today they dominate the entertainment industry. Why? Because they adapted. When they saw the world moving towards digital streaming, they didn't cling to their old model. They pivoted, they took the risk. And that's why they're still at the top today. They could have easily sunk into the past relying on old revenue streams, but they understood that in order to thrive, they had to change. Now, let's talk about you. You might be thinking, I've already changed. I've already adapted, but I'm not talking about superficial change. I'm talking about real transformation, about reinventing yourself when life demands it, about knowing that the world isn't static and neither are you. Are you stuck in your ways? Are you clinging to what worked in the past, even though it's no longer serving you? Are you comfortable because you know what to expect every day, or are you in constant pursuit of growth? The truth is, our resistance to change comes from fear of failure, fear of losing control. But what if the real failure is staying the same while everything else is moving forward? You think change is the enemy, but it's your best ally. The most successful people on this planet didn't fear change, they embraced it. They didn't wait for the perfect moment, they created it. Let's take a personal example. Think about someone like Oprah Winfrey. She could have easily stayed within the confines of her talk show format, but she didn't. She pivoted first to her own network, then to becoming a media mogul, a philanthropist, and an international icon. She didn't allow the shifting tides of the media world to drown her. Instead, she learned to ride those waves. She adapted, she grew. But you don't have to be a billionaire or a famous celebrity to make this change work for you. This applies to you right now, today. Think about your career, your relationships, your personal goals. Are you holding on to something because it's comfortable, something that worked in the past but no longer serves you? That's the exact moment to make a change. That's the moment you need to adapt. And here's the thing, adaptability doesn't mean giving up on your dreams or abandoning your goals. It means finding new ways to pursue them. When one door closes, find another one. When life punches you in the face, and it will, learn to roll with the punches. Learn to find the lesson in every setback. I've seen countless people walk away from their dreams because they couldn't adjust. They were too rigid. They couldn't handle the turbulence, so they gave up. But the ones who succeed, the ones who truly make a mark on this world, are the ones who roll with the punches. They bend but never break. They don't see obstacles as the end of the road. They see them as detours to greater success. So ask yourself right now, where in your life are you resisting change? Where do you need to be more adaptable? What could you do today to shift your thinking, to embrace uncertainty, and to move forward with courage? Remember, you can either fight change and risk being left behind, or you can adapt and thrive. The choice is yours. Metering emotional resilience. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's the difference between surviving and thriving. Life is full of adversity, setbacks, failures, disappointments, and it's easy to let those moments define you. You lose your job and it feels like the world is crashing down. You hit a personal crisis and it feels like you'll never see the light at the end of the tunnel. But let me tell you this, what defines you is not what happens to you, but how you choose to respond. Emotional resilience is the key to turning setbacks into comebacks. It's the ability to stay strong in the face of adversity. It's the ability to rise when life knocks you down. But it's not something you're born with, it's something you build. It's a muscle that grows stronger every time you refuse to let your emotions dictate your actions. Let me give you an example. Think about Nelson Mandela. Here was a man who spent 27 years in prison 27 years in isolation, in a small cell, enduring unimaginable hardship. But when he emerged from that prison, he didn't seek revenge. He didn't let bitterness take root in his heart. Instead, he chose to forgive. He chose to heal. He chose to lead a nation out of apartheid. Mandela didn't allow his emotions to control him. He controlled them. So how do we build emotional resilience? First, understand this. Your emotional state is like a muscle. If you've ever worked out in a gym, you know that in order to grow, you need to break down the muscle fibers so they rebuild stronger. Emotional resilience works the same way. Every time you go through a tough time, you have the choice to either let it break you or let it make you. The more you face challenges and decide to rise, the stronger you become. The truth is, the world will test you. It will throw everything it has at you, and it won't stop. But if you learn to embrace the discomfort of emotional pain, to understand that it's a natural part of life, you'll start to build an unshakable inner strength. You have the power to decide how much power life's challenges have over you. Think about this. What's the toughest situation you've ever been in? What did you do? Did you let fear take over? Did you let doubt creep in? Or did you push through even when you felt like giving up? Every time you've faced a tough situation and made it through, you've already proven your emotional resilience. But there's more work to do. Every time you bounce back, you get stronger and you become more capable of handling even greater challenges. This brings us to a powerful lesson. Resilience is about responding, not reacting. There's a huge difference. When life throws you a curveball, your first response is often emotional, anger, frustration, fear. But reaction is automatic. It's the easy way out. Responding, on the other hand, takes conscious effort. It takes a moment of pause. When you pause, you give yourself the space to choose your response. Instead of reacting from a place of fear or frustration, you respond from a place of strength. And that is how you build resilience. Think about Oprah Winfrey for a moment. Her story is filled with pain and rejection. She was fired from her first television job, told she was unfit for TV, and went through personal trauma that would break most people. But Oprah's resilience isn't in how she avoided pain, it's in how she handled it. She chose to rise above it. She chose to learn from it. She chose to use her pain to fuel her purpose. Here's the hard truth. You can't avoid pain, but you can choose how you respond to it. And that choice is what gives you the power to bounce back stronger than ever. Now ask yourself this: how will you respond to adversity today? Will you rise? Will you face it head on and learn from it? Or will you let it control you? The decision is yours, and if you choose to respond instead of react, you'll build a resilience so strong that nothing can ever break you. So the next time life challenges you, remember, you've already survived 100% of your toughest days. And that's proof of your strength. Keep going. Your resilience will carry you farther than you ever imagined. The art of focus and execution. In a world full of distractions, one of the most important skills you can develop is the ability to focus. But it's not just about focusing, it's about executing. The truth is, you can't achieve anything if you're not able to zero in on what matters most and then take relentless action toward it. Let me ask you a question. How many times have you started something with excitement only to let it fade when the next shiny object caught your attention? You know that feeling, the initial burst of energy, the excitement of a new project, only to find yourself distracted and off course a few weeks later. We all do it, but here's the problem. Focus is the key to success, and without it, you're just wasting time. Think about Steve Jobs, the man who created one of the most powerful companies in the world, Apple. Jobs was a master of focus. When he returned to Apple in the late 90s, the company was on the brink of collapse, but Jobs didn't try to do everything. He didn't spread himself thin. He didn't try to launch hundreds of products at once. He focused on a few key projects: the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and he executed them flawlessly. Jobs didn't just have ideas, he had the focus to turn those ideas into reality. He knew that to create something truly groundbreaking, he couldn't afford to be distracted by anything that wasn't absolutely essential. Now, let's talk about you. What's the most important goal in your life right now? What's the one thing that if you accomplished it would change everything for you? If you're not clear on that, here's where you start. You have to be able to define your most important objective. And then you have to focus, laser focus on it. It's easy to get caught up in the noise of life. We all have 1,000 things vying for our attention: emails, social media, meetings, phone calls, you name it. But if you're trying to do everything, you're doing nothing. The key to success is simple. Identify your highest priority and execute on it with everything you've got. Think of Elon Musk, the man behind Tesla and SpaceX. Musk isn't just some entrepreneur with big dreams. He's a man who understands focus. When SpaceX was struggling to launch rockets, Musk didn't abandon the mission. He poured his energy into improving his technology, solving problems, and executing his vision. He didn't let distractions stop him. Musk's ability to stay focused, even when faced with enormous challenges, is a huge part of why he's been so successful. The point is, successful people don't just have ideas, they execute. And they execute with focus. Focus is a muscle. The more you exercise it, the stronger it gets. But if you're constantly jumping from one thing to the next, that muscle weakens. You can't expect to achieve extraordinary things if you're not willing to commit to one thing and stay the course. Here's the hard truth. Focus is a choice. You are in control of where you direct your energy. Every time you allow yourself to get distracted by something irrelevant, you're choosing to take your energy away from what matters. It's not the distractions that are the problem. It's your decision to let them take you off course. You have the power to change that. Ask yourself, how much of your day is spent on things that don't move you closer to your goal? How much time do you spend scrolling through social media, checking your email, or doing things that aren't aligned with your vision? Every minute you spend on distractions is a minute you could have spent executing on your dreams. Now, focus doesn't just mean blocking out distractions. It means executing with precision. It means setting clear, actionable steps and then taking relentless action toward them. It's about breaking your goals down into manageable tasks and knocking them out one by one until you've built momentum and achieved your vision. Take a moment to think about your vision and ask yourself, what's the one thing I can do today to move closer to that vision? It doesn't have to be some grand, life-changing step. It's often the small, consistent actions that compound over time to create massive results. Focus and execution are what separate the dreamers from the achievers. The difference between wishing for success and creating success is in your ability to focus and execute relentlessly. If you want to reach the top, you must learn to ignore the noise, silence the distractions, and execute with discipline. So ask yourself, where do I need to sharpen my focus? What can I execute on today, right now, to make sure I'm one step closer to my ultimate goal? Success isn't a result of ideas alone, it's the result of action. So act, focus, and execute. The world belongs to those who do, the power of a growth mindset. What if I told you that the only thing standing between you and your greatest potential is your mindset? You see, the way you think about your abilities, your challenges, and your potential determines how far you'll go in life. And the most powerful thing you can do to unlock your future is to shift from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. This shift will change everything. How you see failure, how you approach learning, and how you handle obstacles. Let me tell you something, failure isn't the end, it's the beginning. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid failure. No, they're the ones who embrace it. They understand that failure isn't a reflection of their worth, it's a stepping stone to growth. If you've ever been stuck in a moment where you felt like giving up because something didn't go right, that's where your growth mindset begins, because a growth mindset isn't about avoiding failure, it's about learning from it and using it to propel yourself forward. Take a moment and think about Michael Jordan. You know him as one of the greatest basketball players of all time, but do you know he was cut from his high school basketball team? That's right, Michael Jordan. The man who revolutionized the game of basketball failed before he succeeded. But did he give up? No. He used that failure to fuel his desire to get better. He didn't say, I'll never be good enough. He said, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to learn from this. I'm going to improve. That is the essence of a growth mindset, seeing every failure as a chance to grow stronger, better, and more resilient. But it's not just about the big names like Michael Jordan. It's about you. Every day, you have the opportunity to build your own growth mindset. When you face a challenge at work, in your personal life, or even just in your own development, how do you react? Do you avoid the challenge? Do you let it discourage you? Or do you see it for what it really is, an opportunity to grow? I want you to imagine yourself in a tough situation. Maybe it's a project that's failing, a relationship that's falling apart, or a goal that's slipping through your fingers. What's your first instinct? Do you say to yourself, I'm just not cut out for this? Or do you think, what can I learn from this moment? How can I improve? What can I do differently next time? That simple shift in thinking, seeing a challenge as an opportunity, will define your future. The power of a growth mindset isn't just in how you handle failure, it's how you see your abilities. Do you believe you can improve? Do you believe that with effort, time, and practice, you can learn anything and become anyone you want to be? A growth mindset tells you that the limits you feel today are not the limits you'll have forever. You can change, you can evolve, and you can grow into the person you need to be to achieve your dreams. J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series, is another example. She was rejected by multiple publishers before finally finding someone who believed in her book. She didn't quit. She didn't let failure define her. Instead, she believed in her potential and kept going. Imagine if she had listened to the no's instead of trusting in her ability to get better, to refine her craft. She didn't have a fixed mindset that told her she wasn't good enough. She had a growth mindset, and it led her to success beyond her wildest dreams. So let me ask you this. What's stopping you from embracing your own growth mindset? What's holding you back from taking your challenges head on, knowing that every setback is just a setup for a comeback? I promise you, the moment you start seeing failure as part of the process, the moment you start believing that you can improve, that you can grow, you'll unlock a whole new world of possibility. The beauty of a growth mindset is that it doesn't just affect your career or your ambitions, it affects every aspect of your life. It affects your relationships, your health, your happiness. When you believe that you can grow and evolve, it transforms the way you approach every area of life. No more self-limiting beliefs, no more feeling stuck. Instead, you're constantly moving forward, learning, adapting, and becoming the best version of yourself. The power of a growth mindset is this. It turns your potential into reality. It turns obstacles into stepping stones, failure into lessons, and struggles into growth. The only limit to your success is the limit you place on your own mindset. So start today. Embrace the idea that you can grow. Embrace the challenges, the setbacks, the mistakes, because in the end, they are your greatest teachers and they will take you places you never thought possible. Relentless drive and hunger is a fire inside of you, one that if stoked can carry you farther than you ever imagined. But the question is, are you hungry enough to let it burn? That hunger deep within your soul is what separates the dreamers from the doers. It's what transforms ordinary individuals into extraordinary forces of nature. If you want to reach the highest levels of success, you have to cultivate a relentless drive. You need to get hungry for your vision, for your purpose, for your goals, and you need to pursue them with